As a web publisher, there are several key performance metrics that you come across that can be beneficial, but they can also be overwhelming and distracting. The best practice is to focus on what is important to you and for your audience. So today we'll be learning about page RPM, session RPM, and CPM, and which is the best metric for you. Before we dive into each metric, I would like to discuss some basic definitions of the following terms. Sessions or visits is a group of user interactions with your website that takes place within a given time frame. Page views, of course, are a number of pages viewed by a user. User or visitor is a person who visits the site. Impressions are ads that are delivered and shown on the ad unit, whether they are viewed or not. And lastly is revenue, which is the earnings of the publisher. Now I'm going to go deeper into sessions and page views. You can have multiple page views in one session. With higher page views and fewer sessions, it means your users are engaged with your content. Here's an example. This is Mike, and he has visited the website 3 times. First visit or the first session was just 3 page views. The second visit was just 2 page views. And the third visit was 5 page views. Now, if you summarize this, the data would show that there are a total of 10 page views for one user in 3 sessions. If you look at it in a hierarchy, the user can visit the site, and each visit can be a group of page views, events, or another page view. An event can be signing up for a newsletter or answering a test. Now that we know about sessions and page views, let's discuss CPM, also known as cost per thousand or cost per mil. Typically used by advertisers, it's related to cost and not revenue. It is the price a brand pays to buy a specific ad unit, the economic value of a single ad unit, and a paid advertising option where companies pay a price for every 1,000 impressions an ad receives. Here's an example. A publisher has this website and this web page. There are typically 2 ad units, and this publisher is earning around $1,300 with a CPM of $1.85. The CPM here is the overall CPM of these 2 ad units. Now he decided to add another ad unit. A third ad unit gave him $150 more, but the overall CPM dropped from $185 to $173. As you can see, the publisher earned more in the second example compared to the first example, which means it's benefiting the publisher, even though the overall CPM is low. Now let's talk about page RPM. The formula for page RPM is total revenue divided by page views times 1,000, or revenue per 1,000 page views. This is more advanced compared to CPM because it takes into account the page views and user visits. The only limitation is, when you solely focus on page RPM, you risk leaving a negative impact on your readers by overloading a page with ads. If those readers get overwhelmed with ads on your page, they could exit their session prematurely and may not return. As for the session RPM, the formula is total revenue divided by sessions times 1,000, or revenue per 1,000 sessions. It offers a broad version of publisher earnings beyond the economic value of the single ad units, and others says it is the standard for optimizing yield and user experience. Let's compare CPM, page RPM, and session RPM. Based on the earlier example, with 2 ad units, but lower page RPM and session RPM with 3 ad units higher in page RPM and session RPM. This means CPM does not translate to the overall performance of your website. Now, let's compare page RPM versus session RPM. Assuming a publisher is earning $1,450, 316,000 page views, and 114,000 sessions, page RPM is $4.59 and session RPM is $12.61. Publishers double their revenue because their page view doubles, but sessions stay the same. The page RPM increased and session RPM dramatically increased. This means that even though the page views doubled and the sessions stayed the same, users are more engaged with the website. Let's look at the other scenario below. We have the same revenue, the same number of page views, but more sessions. If you've noticed, session RPM has dropped. It might mean that the user visits the site but never comes back again. So, which is the best metric? What will be the metric for website performance? There's actually no one-size-fits-all metric that is best for every website. It depends on your goals. If you want to determine the individual ad unit's economic value or performance, you can go with CPM. If you want to determine the overall site performance and if you are buying traffic and do not prioritize building organic traffic, then choose page RPM. If you want to determine the user experience and overall site performance, and if your site has organic traffic and focuses more on building a community, then go with session RPM.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. Also, learn to monetize more by watching our tutorial series and reading our latest ad optimization tip. Please subscribe to our blog to receive periodic updates. Thanks. We'll catch you next time.